Hey everybody, test number 2. We got the new camera outside, so we're looking to see if maybe the lighting out here, how it reacts. Horribly inside it was last night, but again, we'll play with it, we'll get it right. I want to see what this looks like, and no matter what it looks like, I'll probably post it. But we're going to do a test run here with this setting. And I'll use this opportunity to advise you to, I'll send a bunch of links today like I always do, Max Egan, David Icke, James Corbett, things like that. But I'm going to send the Game Time Woo link. If you don't watch Game Time Woo, you're getting cheated every day. Game Time Woo is one of the funniest fucking guys you'll ever see. He pulls the propaganda off the TV and just spits out, while he goes through like 5 or 10 minutes of it, exactly what you're thinking. All the sarcastic remarks, all the stupidity, all the nonsense, he points right out in a very funny way. And to me, comedic levity is very important when it comes to channeling your righteous anger, because I don't know about you, I can dwell in states of anger over cattle walking around in masks and looking at other people like they're lepers because they're so ignorant and so full of self-loathing, which is really what it is, that they will go out into the world and treat people like that. It's amazing to watch. If you pull up some of the propaganda he's going through, which is just running rampant on places like CNN and Fox and shit like that. If you watch any of those channels, man, whew, holy brainwashing. And that's anyone. I don't give a shit what side of the dumb dialectic you fall on. You're all idiots. Authority is behind all of this. If you can't see, this isn't the left, this isn't the right, it isn't your rule by law on the one side being the problem, and it isn't your socialist lunatics, liberals running around the other. It's a combination of both, because no matter who gets in, the same fucking thing is happening. Your hero Trump is for forced vaccines. Sorry, get it into your fucking head. Realize that there are no heroes when it comes to this besides you and me. It's amazing that people will entertain themselves with movies, and they will go to a movie and they'll get to a point in the movie where they see all hope is lost. The bad guys are going to win. Where we are now, by the way, in this movie called Life. And they know deep down inside the hero's going to come. If it's a superhero, if it's the Avengers, if it's Captain fucking America, if it's some fucking stupid military movie you're watching, or some dumb fucking police movie, whatever they're pumping into your heads. Anyone but you. How are the people portrayed in those movies? Fleeing, ooh, save me, right? Again, subconscious and on purpose. Because they don't want you to realize that you are the hero of your own story. Because if you saw where we were right now, if you allowed yourself to see where we are right now, we are at that point. We are at a point where either the hero is going to step in or the bad guy's going to win. And I'm sorry if you think God's going to step in and all you got to do is wear your armor and all is going to be great. Action is actually required. Not complying with your own slavery, and then that growing in numbers exponentially is how we're going to get out of this. There's no other way. There's nobody swooping in to save you. It's going to take individual choices based in individual truth, objective truth being discovered, and then being stepped into and made actionable in the world by saying no, not doing whatever job I'm doing to force, if it's a corporation or if it's a business. No, I'm not enforcing the muzzle rule. I'm not enforcing, again, you do this in small numbers, they come pick you off. And the herd mentality, the Barabbas mentality points at you and says, Barabbas, or leper, hypocrite, heretic, whatever the fuck they've screamed over the past, whatever they've sold the public over millennia, you're doing the same thing. Yet you will sit and go to church, taking a sermon or a homily, and tell yourself, boy, that's a very good lesson Jesus taught by behaving that way in the world and then teaching it to others. I should try to apply that to my own life. And then they'll come home, and here we are in a complete situation Jesus talked about, where people are either going to deny this truth and step back into the fear of choosing authority and slavery and the destruction of others over truth and love, or they're going to ignore it, and they're going to step into their Judas mentality of collecting 30 pieces of silver and getting into their great reset with their gold and their silver and their Bitcoin, eventually to keep it all having to do exactly what the fuck they're told all the fucking time. But that's freedom, as long as you're not in the middle class being shit on. I guess those people are fucked, right? Not you guys. And if you got your money coming in, your gold and your silver, yeah, you're good, Judas. Don't worry about it. You got nothing to worry about. You know, just accept it. Just live in fucking slavery with your money. Then, of course, like I said, the other side is your Peter, your denial of truth that people are doing right now because it's too fearful. It's too fearful for them to realize that you are up against an evil that no one is coming to save you from except you. By stepping into the truth, realizing the truth of what's going on here, not trying to tell yourself, well, DARPA having all this technology present for surveillance and electronic tattoos and vaccine patents and everything the fuck else they got, that's just a coincidence. And you know what? Thank goodness they have it, because it's very, very lucky that it broke out the same time this virus did, and telling yourself that anyone that's trying to tell you there's a correlation here is a conspiracy theorist, because that's too scary. So they become the enemy, and you deny the truth. You know, it's going to take you stepping into the world you actually live in and realizing there are far too many things going on here at the Circle K, and strange things are afoot. If you don't know the Bill and Ted movie, you can get the inference, you know, regardless of whether you've seen the movie or not. Strange things are afoot. And if you're denying that in any way, it's because you fear it. And the only way you can get out of fearing it is by taking in the actual truth of who you are. Taking in the actual inner spirit that is you, that is truth, that needs to be embodied and spoken into existence in order to combat the lie, the evil. And that you're the hero of your own story, and we all are, collectively. And the only way we're getting out of this is if enough individuals have the courage to do that, and then that grows exponentially into a ratio where more people will not comply with their own slavery, to the point where this system can't do any fucking thing about it. It's relying on your compliance with their bullshit. And the more people that live in this fear and continue to live in this fear, are going to continue to bring it on. And the level of soul damage being done is quite devastating. And if people really knew that, I wonder if they would step into it. I don't know what it's going to take. I know that we're at a precipice. I know that I'll never fucking do any of this bullshit. And I don't give a fuck what you do, what you take away, who you starve, or who you fucking threaten to kill. I don't fucking care. Because I will never live like a slave. I will never wear this muzzle. I will never get your fucking vaccine. I will never fucking get your test. I will never fucking comply with your bullshit. And as this occurs, I will make all the fucking noise in the world, at meetings, to other parents, whatever I need to do. Not just pulling my own kids out and saying, nah, we're not doing it. No. I will be out convincing and being that leader in the world to help convince other people to step into their power and not just go along to get along. Because without that, without people in numbers, they're going to be able to get away with it and do it. And if you know anything about people, and again, I bring up the leadership from a Dancing Guy video all the time, is that people want to do the right thing. They're just afraid to. Once they see someone else do it, and then someone else do it, and then it becomes the thing to do, you'll get more people to step into it. But if enough people don't do it, people will go along to get along. They will comply out of fear. And I intend on being that big old fucking firework that won't let that happen until you take the last fucking breath out of me, because I know who I am, and I don't give a shit. And if more of us take on that attitude, That they don't give a shit what you're fucking saying and doing because we know you're full of fucking evil bullshit and we understand common sense and viruses and flus and we can see what you're doing. We can look at the numbers. We can understand and correlate fucking facts. Well, then you're fucked. And that's the way I continue to go out of this world, intend to go out of this world, fighting this all the way simply by being and staying free, which is my inherent right. Remember that fucking Constitution that enshrines my and your inherent rights? Remember that? It's not granted by it. It's not given by government. It's enshrined by it, telling you you are born with it, inherent from the Creator. These are your rights. And I will stay that till my very last fucking breath. If more of us do that, evil loses. Get learning, get speaking, guys. Love yous.